Brandon Hutchinson. How you doing, my man? And I did it again. It's not Hutchinson. I put an N in there.
Everybody does. It's okay.
That's like realtor. There's no A like realtor. It's realtor. So say we all, and I've done it too 1,000 times. We put that extra syllable in. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Good. Hey, you said you had something you wanted to chat about, and we might want to hit the record button. What you got, man?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Something I keep seeing everywhere. It's yeah, a good friend of both of ours likes to say that clear is kind and kind is clear.
Wait, wait, wait. So
hmm
clear is kind, and kind is clear. What the heck
hmm
does that mean?
Yeah, so I've been thinking about it from like a leadership perspective. So, as people progress through our coaching program, right, there's people that don't have teams or individual loan officers. And then we see that people that make the biggest jumps, obviously, once they hire teams and they learn
Yeah.
some leadership skills, right? But the biggest area of improvement, we won't call it failure, the biggest area for improvement is really in the leadership skills because the skills that get you right from 0 to 10 loans aren't necessarily the skills that are going to get you from 10 to 30. You know what I
I'll give you
mean?
that.
And so
I
it's a
definitely know
much
what you
different
mean.
skill set. And so I think like the biggest thing that we're seeing, especially with people that just start hiring teams, is they're just not clear. And so I was thinking about it realistically because every aspect of life requires leadership, right? It requires us to be leaders in ourselves, leaders in our household, leaders in our community, leaders with our friends, like whatever it is. Everything requires leadership, even if we don't have staff members or whatever you want to call it, teammates, right?
Well, I would say, as you're saying that, I'm thinking we have to have leadership to get the referral partner to start start referring to us. We have to get leadership we have to lead the borrower that, hey, I'm your mortgage person, kind of thing.
Absolutely.
It's
So
in
yeah,
everything.
it's like I think it's one of the fundamental things of life, and I think it's something that we talked about this before, right, on another podcast. That there's no instruction manual when you get in the business, and there's
Yeah.
definitely not an instruction manual when you become a pretty decent producer, and then they promote you right to branch manager, sales manager, something like that. Because typically, again, the things that got you there aren't going to get you, to the next level. And so, I think that like in all those areas of leadership, just figuring out how we can be more clear is the difference between like climbing a little bit and like climbing a lot and just getting super clear on it. So like let's take your example of with our referral partners.
Okay.
You're a loan officer. I'm one of your referral partners. I'm a real estate agent who does, qualified. I do enough business, things like that. How would you coach someone or how do you think we should coach someone to be more clear on what it is that we want to offer the real estate agent?
So you're asking me, how do we be more clear
Yeah, as a loan
on our
officer, like
offer?
yeah, on our offer or like what our value proposition is, all those things, right? Even how we ask for business. Or are we even asking for business?
Single best way to improve your business by 25% almost overnight. If you're not asking for it on every call, ask for it. So, all right. So what do you mean by being more clear with my offer?
Yeah, so I think that a lot of times, and like I remember when I got in the business, I just started calling real estate agents because I'm like, well, they have business. I think I met one at a bar or restaurant or something like that, and he had a client. And I'm like, hey, I should call some other real estate agents. Nobody else in my office did it. We were a refi lead shop, right? We got telemarketing leads faxed to us.
Hmm.
And so nobody was going out and getting purchase business. And I started doing that and I just started calling realtors. I didn't have an offer, but I think that a lot of mortgage people get this thing in their head. Okay, now I've got to have this dynamic offer and I've got to go in and solve the world's problems and I got to show them this software and I got to do all these things like that. Um, for me, I noticed a big shift in my business when I just started asking more questions to the agent and just finding out where they needed help. And so that's how I was able to get clearer. Like, hey, I realize we're going to do more business together if I just help you close more loans. If I help you get a higher number, convert a higher number of the clients you already have, they think better of you, they give you better reviews, right? That sort of thing. If I can help make you look good, I'm going to get more business. So just figuring out a way to convey that to real estate agents. And that was really, instead of trying to offer them something they may or may not need, like for me, that was a big fundamental shift and just how
Mm.
can I help them be more successful? Because again, time, joy, money, right? The things that are motivating people in most cases. So let's figure out which one of those they need. So that's what I mean on like being clear. So for me, it was just being clear on how I could help them either, have more time, make more money, have better time at work, whatever it looks like.
Hey, so when it's funny you bring this up because I had a topic that I was going to call you up about. If like when you go meet with an agent
Mhm.
or any referral partner, but let's say an agent because that's the
Mhm.
elephant in the room, right? So, and I think I brought up on our last podcast, 87% of real estate agents that closed 20 units or more last year said that 87% said that their borrowers use a loan officer they recommend. 87%. That's like a really high number. So obviously spending time with agents is a very good thing. And to demonize them or to not have that as part of a primary part of your business plan, just not smart thinking, right? It's just,
No,
if somebody's leading
not
you in that
sustainable.
direction, you're being misled for sure, right? At that meeting, when I meet with an agent and you're saying make your offer more clear, like what does that meeting look like? Do you go in there asking questions and then providing solutions to the problems they state? Or do you go in there, and not that you're carrying a big duffel bag, but do you go in there with a preconceived idea in your head? I think I'm going to, like, I'm family, friends, or family recreation occupation goals, right? I'm gonna,
Mhm.
how'd you get in the business? You frog them. We all know what frog is,
Right.
family recreation occupation. But when it comes time to do your offer, do you pull what you think is your best trick out of the hat? Or do you base it upon asking them questions and solving their problems? And like what's your personal approach to that?
So I think emotional intelligence is like a big piece that a lot of us miss. I feel like women are naturally better at that than we are as men, right? Like they pick up on the clues, they pick up on things like that.
Mhm.
Thankfully, being in sales for a long time, I've figured out how to get better at that and shorten that cycle. So for me, my entire goal during that initial meeting is to get to know them past just, well, how long you been in the business, like, right, like what got you into the business, but more so like what shapes their outlook on their values of how they treat their client. Where do they want their business to be down the road? Like what's things that really motivate them? You know what I mean? Like I want to get to know them on a deeper level instead
Mhm.
of just the surface, hey, yeah, what's something a lender could do to help you close more business. But I totally shifted away from the, hey, I'm calling, or I want to show you this piece of software. I want to show you this new AI tool. I want to show you this, marketing thing. I want to sponsor your open houses. Like I totally shifted away from that. And I encourage my coaching students to shift away from it because a lot of them will have something they're calling to offer specifically. And that may be fine to get them into the meeting. But for me, one, life is too short. I call it like the test. If I don't want to have a drink with them, if I don't want to share a meal with them, like why am I going to work with them? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like if
Mhm.
we don't like each other, if we don't share values, if we don't share the way that we want to treat clients, if I can't see myself like having a deeper relationship with them, why would I want to waste time and get their business? There's plenty of business out there. There's people they could be aligned with. So I say go work with them. You know what I mean? So for me, that's my goal, is just to get to know them and figure out, is this someone I want to work with? I already know they're qualified or I'm not going to meet with them. But is this someone that I want to work with? Is this someone that I feel like I have something in common with? And then
Mhm.
once I get to know them better, and typically if you get better at asking questions, you'll figure out if they have needs.
Hey there. Hey, if you're loving the tips so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button right down there and then tap the little bell so that you never miss out on more free, cool tips coming your way. Also, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment beneath there. Let me know what you think or tell me what you'd like to hear next.
And I think that we don't have the right to go in offering solutions if we don't know what their problems are. You know what I mean? And that's why
Mhm.
I discourage like my coaching students from, you know, having this agenda when they go in of, hey, I'm going to show them this, because we've got some cool tools, right? That people can, they
Right,
can plug
right.
into. They may not need it, right? They may
Mhm.
not, they may not do open houses. They may not do listing, whatever. There's a million different things.
Yeah.
If you don't know what they need, you can't offer a solution.
Mhm. You know, Owen and I, um, he owns a mortgage company I work at, right?
Hmm.
So him and he set up his tech department. Is one smart dude. So one of the smartest things he does is who he surrounds himself with, right? So he's got a tech team over there that's impressive. Anyway, they developed this and they developed their own an outbound bot caller, an
Mm-hmm.
AI caller calling real estate agents on behalf of a test group of loan officers. Now, when we did this, we made sure that who they were calling, the agents they were calling, was not in that loan officer's town,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if somebody is in, I don't know, Palm Harbor, Florida, like I am, we were not calling Palm Harbor, Florida real estate agents for Carl, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were calling Tallahassee, which is 3 hours away. That way, if it didn't go well, I didn't screw up things in my own backyard. We didn't know how
Yeah,
we
that's
didn't know how it
smart.
was going to go. This bot had two scripts that we A/B tested. One script, hey, I'll help you convert more, get more listings, get more buyers, and things of that nature. I help you build your business. And this bot was calling strictly to set the appointment up with the loan officer. So, loan officer Brandon would like to meet with you. Here's two scripts. So, one script was, here's what Brandon will do for you. The other script was, Brandon's student of success, saw your numbers, impressive. He'd just like to treat you to a cup of coffee for you to tell him more about how awesome you are. Something like that. Not
Mm-hmm.
not not those exact words, of course, but something like that. So basically, it was what I would call the buddy script,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm a student of success script. I just want to hear, like, holy cow, you're amazing. I'd like to hear more about how amazing you are. I lost a box of cigars on this bet. I thought the offering to help them build their business was going to win,
I bet it
and
wasn't even close.
it wasn't even close. So him and I did a podcast when we first started it and gave the results, and the results have just gotten on my behalf a little bit more embarrassing as time has gone on.
Uh-huh.
That sure as the world, it's just the basic. I want to have a conversation script. So I thought that was impressive. So it's right in line with what you're saying. So
Yeah, one of my coaching students right now, I had him write down and post in his office, be interested, not interesting, because he talks too much. And I'm like,
mm,
just ask questions and be quiet, right? Like listen. And it's amazing the results that he's told me that he's seen just from doing this. Just asking more questions and talking less. Because people feel good, right? Like if we sit down for 20 minutes and I ask you 40 questions, you feel better than if I sit here for 20 minutes and I tell you how awesome I am.
mm-hmm. Isn't that funny?
Uh-huh. So yeah, so I guess back to the kind is clear. The other point. So I mean, I think it's important to be clear with your referral partners. And again, like clarity comes from, hey, I feel like we have a good vibe, right? Like I feel like we match each other on ethics and values. How can we do business together? Like what do we need to do? Like, well, let's figure out a way because we can just sit here and enjoy, having coffee, having lunch, whatever it is, being on Zoom. But let's figure out how's a way that we can do a couple deals together and see if we're a good fit. Like, see if we can help each other's business out if there's something like that. So I think just that clarity helps there. And then the other piece, I know we probably don't have a lot of time, was just with team members. And again, the mistake that people make when they first hire team members is they expect the team members to be like them, and people coming in to work for you don't want to be the entrepreneur, right? They don't want to be the salesperson who's crazy commission only. They don't want to be paid on bips and they don't want to be, right? Like all those things. They're looking, it's a different personality profile. And so I feel like, just getting clear on like what you expect for them, like it opens the people up that work with you. And I say this because I have screwed up a lot of like LP1, like front end loan partner hires. Like it's an embarrassing number how many people I've went through over the last 17 years or whatever I've had loan partner ones. I mean, it's an embarrassing number.
Yeah.
But it's like every time is because I wasn't clear enough on what I wanted that job to look like. And the fundamentals, there's a couple of fundamentals for us. It's like three things, right, for each job that we want them to master because they can't master everything.
Mm-hmm.
But we all have this decision fatigue because we all day we're making decisions. We got to do this. We got to do this. Let's choose this marketing. Let's choose this person. All right. Am I going to send my kid to school here? Is this person going to get a call back? All these things. Right. But for me, it's like if they just own a couple of things and I don't have to think about those, like it's good for me and it's really, really good for them because we can be like, kudos, you did your job really stinking well. you knocked these three things out of the park. So that's what I mean by like clarity with team members.
Hey, by the way, on our you told me earlier today you guys were closing 15 for the month.
Yes, sir.
And we don't talk about BIPs on here, and we're not going to do that
Mhm.
now, but we use a hypothetical $3,000 per closing as a hypothetical, average check that a loan officer gets when they close a loan, somewhere around that. So using that hypothetical math in this situation, that'd be 45 grand for the month. Congratulations, man. That's a pretty awesome number. Good for you, man.
It's not a bad living, right? For
It's not
such
it's
a low
it's not
barrier of entry into our industry.
I know it's not. I have to pinch my like if it wasn't for this, I don't know what I'd do, to nothing to churn. I mean, it's just a wonderful career that we've all stumbled into.
It is. And we both
So
have similar
cool.
backgrounds, right? The kind of the,
Stumbled
farm
into it.
farm kid from rural East Tennessee, had no idea. No
Yeah.
idea about money, no idea about finance, anything like that. Didn't even go to college.
Yeah, it's worked out well. So Brandon, you're awesome dude, man. I appreciate you. And
Thank you. I appreciate you.
hey, Brandon's going to be at our October event, and I believe they still have some early bird pricing. Go check it out. What is that name? Mastermind Retreats with an S.com, mastermindretreats.com. Go check it out. Hang out with us for a couple days in beautiful Clearwater Beach, Florida. It'll be a good use of time. Mastermindretreats.com. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.